I love video games. You, dear viewer, do too, I think at least. The reason why people love video games can obviously vary. Some people play video games to pass some time, or maybe spend some time playing with friends, using video games as a way to socialize with others. And yes, I do that too. I played a game for free on Steam called Straftat, a quick 1v1 deathmatch against other people online. There is something beautiful hearing a child calling me Russian slurs, me answering back in Russian, how proud his parents must be, and then seeing him disconnect in no time, because my boy didn't expect me to be trilingual. And next match, having someone praise me if I win a match, and encouraging me to try again if I lose. What a legend. I get it, it's fun. But personally, I have a completely different reason why I love video games. I enjoy it more as an art form. It can show me how other people think, how they see the world and what they are wishing for it, maybe even inspiring me to change the way I think, see things from a different perspective. But we don't get many games like these anymore. Unfortunately, many companies nowadays forget what video games are about, or what a video game can be, being so focused on maximizing profits that everything else gets left behind. Or maybe also higher-ups have different plans, maybe one studio focusing on one part of the game so much that everything else feels like a mere afterthought. Genuinely good video games all around, even more so in the AA or AAA area, are more and more rare. And where greed takes over and many other people's ideas and wishes aren't realized, and the company starts sinking like a ship, some people find the courage to start their own thing, believing in the idea they have. This is the story of Sandfall Interactive, consisting of 3 ex-Ubisoft employees who had a brilliant idea which was refused by Ubisoft. I mean, we all know what kind of place Ubisoft currently is, and where they are probably heading, which is very unfortunate. I grew up with quite a few of their games and IP. It all started with Guillaume Broche, I hope I pronounced it correctly, a developer at Ubisoft. He felt a yearning for something different, developing something more personal. During the pandemic in 2020, Guillaume began experimenting with Unreal Engine, drawing inspiration from the older, more classic jrpgs like Final Fantasy. This passion project laid the foundation for what would become Clair Obscur Expedition 33. Recognizing the potential of his project, Guillaume teamed up with François Meurice and Tom Gilliman, both former Ubisoft colleagues, to establish Sandfall Interactive in 2020. Their vision to create a high-fidelity, narrative-rich RPG that blended classic mechanics with modern storytelling. And now get this is hilarious. Guillaume reached out to talents through Reddit and online forums, assembling a group of junior developers that were new to the industry and passionate about the project's vision. Notably, writer Jennifer Swedberg-Yen and composer Lorien Testard that joined the team. Especially regarding the music, from what I've heard, they just started texting with each other and he told him that his music sounds nice and asked him if he's down to make some music for his game, which he agreed on, and then went ahead to create 150 songs or something by himself. Hearing stories like these kinda brings me joy, man. In 2023, Sandfall Interactive partnered with Kepler Interactive, a global publisher known for supporting indie developers. This collaboration provided the necessary resources to bring Clair Obscur Expedition 33 to life. Should I continue to say Clair Obscur or say Clair Obscur? I mean, well, I guess maybe I'll say both. From 6 members in 2022 to 34 members in 2025. This game... Man, you don't understand. Yet, hopefully. I love unusual things. I love weird things where imagination goes wild, ambitious things, where people are not afraid to do unconventional things. I'm in love with that, in absolute love. With just everything that gets crafted with passion. This game gave me a feeling I mostly felt when I played games as a kid. I rarely get this feeling nowadays, I can't really describe it. If we compare it to modern games where I got this feeling, I felt it in games like Xenoblade 3, Hollow Knight, Elden Ring, Ori, and brother, Clair Obscur Expedition 33 is a passion project, alright? Like, holy smokes. What's the opposite of ranting? I will gush a lot about the game. I will say something before that though. Imagine if someone asked you to recommend games to them, and they are clueless about games. You probably have some that you would always recommend to people new to gaming, right? And you probably have some few games where you specifically tell them to not look up anything. To absolutely not get spoiled on anything. This is one of those games. As always, I won't include spoilers here at all, but if you finish this video, please don't look up anything regarding this game. And trust me on my word. I hope my opinions and my advice hasn't disappointed anyone yet. This game has to be experienced blind. And if that already convinced you to try the game and you want to close this video already, consider to help me out here with a like and comment that you leave on this video, or maybe even letting it run in the background without audio. You would be surprised how much this stuff helps out videos like these and very small channels like these. Dear viewers, this game is a marvel. I unironically don't know where to start. This game feels at heart like one of those old games that were very ambitious, but were limited to their hardware, where you would look them up nowadays, many years later, and think, huh, I remember it looked way more insane and cinematic back in the day, as a kid. Imagine if it looked just as good as you remember it back then. That's this game. Imagine if you took the world of classic Final Fantasy or Xenogears with a battle system of Persona and Mario and Luigi. The character interaction, lore, music, story and exploration from any From Software and Monolith Soft game just combined into one game and gave it your own French spin on it. That is a unique game. Let's go quickly from one point to another. I mentioned old Final Fantasy and Xenogears. Imagine you have a world map and lots of areas, where you also have random encounters in that world map. Clair Obscur just made a modern version of it, and it works very nicely. In a little kinda miniature playhouse world, I mean, you see what I mean, in a tilted ISO perspective where you can also find various kinds of loot. And you enter an area through one of the portals, which are entrances, where you switch to a third-person perspective and run around in open areas. You could simply follow the main story, but you would miss out big time. This game has so many hidden areas, secret bosses, super bosses, and various quests just by talking to NPCs you find, random mini-games and challenges and surprise encounters. A random NPC liked the shape of your nose and gave you a new hairstyle because he happened to be a barber or something. The best part of it all is that it feels rewarding to explore it all. Unique pictos, aka augments, that alter any of your character's capabilities or stats during battle. Unique weapons with different elements and side effects. Upgrade materials, quest materials. Sometimes after you finish an area and decide to come back later, maybe even story related, some new paths open up. You don't have to go there, but at the end of it you encounter a boss with a unique theme that plays only once, has its own cinematic cutscene and maybe gives you some lore and extra story. This game is so packed with extra content which doesn't feel like a grind to do at all. It's just a joy to traverse through this world, and really, it does feel like those RPGs and JRPGs from the SNES and PlayStation 1 days in a more modern form. Which brings me to the combat of this game. Turn-based combat in 2025? Honestly? Even though it is turn-based in its core, calling it turn-based is kinda, I almost want to say insulting in a way. Just because how much further it goes. And to be honest with you, I feel like leaving it at that. It starts so simple, but Where some games like Mario and Luigi Brothership kinda struggle with the pacing of giving you new abilities, the combat here evolves bit by bit constantly, in a way where it doesn't get overwhelming. The animations and visual effects and particle effects are hardcore, parrying a 6-hit combo from a walking nightmare to straight up slicing reality in half. The combat is fire, and really doesn't become boring. And every character is unique and plays differently too. From female Gambit to Virgil from another universe, the variety in playstyles is pretty cool, man. But yeah, I end it here. They do some very cool stuff during fights too, so look forward to it. This is to my fellow Xenoblade addicts. The characters in this game, I'm getting chills right now just thinking about it again. They are so well written. They are so complex and have so much depth to them. The way they look at each other, the way they interact with each other, every small movement. They did such a good job on the animations, especially on the facial animations. So many emotions and little details get displayed. I plan to do another stream with post-game content on the VOD channel and on Twitch, but I already missed the characters. I'm glad I had no face cam during the final stream. Been a while since I got emotional like that. Last time was probably Future Redeemed. But yes, they did a phenomenal job. The characters are fantastic. But once again, I don't think I will go much further than that. You just have to trust me on this one. Let's get to the music. What happens if you combine Elden Ring and Xenoblade music? Clair Obscur music. This soundtrack is goated, straight up. Lorian Tester, I wasn't familiar with your game, my guy. Like, this is his first soundtrack. I looked up his discography and found nothing but this game. The team really is, for the most part, just a bunch of new people to the industry, huh? You have dramatic opera, emotional piano, heavy metal with an electric guitar, a French dude speaking to himself or something. I don't know, I don't speak French. But actually, let me say something here. I love the fact that the game embraces the fact that it's made by French people, and how they don't mind including also ridiculous stereotypical things like an outfit just called baguette, where you wear a cliché French outfit with a massive baguette on your back. Some emergency rations for French people. But going back to music, you really feel like they care. All of them cared. You have songs that only play once or twice too, but are like the most beautiful piece you've ever heard in a while. That's proof to me. Regarding the story, I will say nothing, except I loved the story. And the overall setting, that's all. I want you to find out yourself. It was fantastic. And wait a second, hold on. I forgot to tell you something. This is so important too. This game costed day one €50 or $50. Absolute cinema in every way imaginable. You would think that they made a game like this one, which bigger companies would charge $70 for. Yet they did that. This is a banger for a good price. What else could you ask for? Now, I do have some criticism. But this is criticism that is mostly related to what I assume is a lack of experience. Like the game. I feel like at least the game could be more optimized. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but granted I also streamed the game, but I had to play this game in 1080-60 with mid to high settings with a 3080, so I don't know. I feel like there could be done a little bit more optimizing this game, but I'm talking as someone who only plays games, so what do I know? What I do know though is this game has a lot. And holy moly, this game has a lot of invisible walls and terrain that will annoy you from time to time. There definitely could have been a more elegant solution. Running around and exploring feels also somewhat awkward and stiff, but maybe that's just me. Some people complained about the lack of a minimap. but I think the areas aren't that massive that you need one. And also I can imagine it being kinda hard to implement them with areas that have an insane verticality, which isn't rare in this game. I will also say that there were 1 or 2 moments in the game where things got really intense story-wise, and then you have to run through hordes and hordes of enemies, run through big environments to continue, where it became a bit annoying and the excitement got damaged, I feel like, a bit during these parts. I'll be honest, I dislike it when games do that. But man, that's it really. Sandfall Interactive, I see you, climbing the ladder of my favorite development teams. And man, you sure make yourself a name. You guys are the future, genuinely. This is what video games are about. They get it. They understand it. And they already announced that they started working on their next game. I'm really looking forward to it. Folks, if you see this video, I'm probably hurting right now. My wisdom teeth had to be removed, all 4 of them. And streaming and recording is cancelled for a while now. But I'll be back soon. Thank you for watching and thank you for being here. I appreciate you just sticking by to the very end. It really means a lot to me. See you guys soon. Have a good one.